Hi there, this is Dr. Evan Osar with the Institute for Integrative Health and Fitness Education. Welcome to this edition of Integrative Movement Insider and a special bonus video of this four-part series where we're sharing with you the strategies to work with your clients that have rotator cuff and or labral issues. And if you don't know if your client has rotator cuff and or labral issues, it will help so many of your clients that have chronic issues with overhead motion or chronic neck tension when they lift their arm up and or they do common exercise patterns and or activities of everyday life. And one of the key concepts is not just what to do with your clients, it's also what not to do, and more appropriately, how to cue your clients and what cues you want to avoid. Because if you're like me, which you are because that's why you're watching this video, is you've been taught to have your clients lift the chest up and squeeze down and back. And that's a very common strategy to address what's been perceived as weakness of the scapular adductors and or retractors and or depressors. Because we see the forward shoulder position, we've been taught that this is because our clients aren't doing enough of this position right here. And for some clients, that is a true statement. However, for many of our clients, that cue, that strategy will directly contribute to and or perpetuate their shoulder issues, just like it did for me, because I got really good at retraction and depression and really strong at retraction and depression. Hence the reason I have labral tears and rotator cuff tears in both shoulders, because I overdid that cue. There's one more specific reason and one important reason why we don't cue down and back. And that's because most of our clients that have the forward shoulder position don't have weak retractors and weak depressors. And when they are cued to overactivate the retractors and depressors, it actually perpetuates their issue, as I mentioned. So here's what that looks like in your client, especially your client with a forward shoulder position. Many of us have been taught when our clients present with that forward shoulder position to have them squeeze down and back because it's their scapular retractors and depressors that are weak. But I want you to watch what happens to his shoulder blades as Wayne goes down and back. Now remember that he's already in slight depression on this side, so you can see how this side is a little bit lower and he's more forward and he's more downwardly rotated on this right side. So watch what happens to the shoulders, the level of them, as well as what happens to them as he goes down and back. So squeeze your shoulder blades down and back. And again, they go further into adduction and depression, which we would expect from going into that, using that cue. However, what you see is that it doesn't actually fix the problem because he's still in downward rotation and anterior tilted position, but now he's also overactivated through his scapular adductors, so the rhomboids and mid-traps, and the scapular depressors, the lats and lower traps. So now let's see what happened when Wayne goes overhead from this position. So go ahead, go overhead again. So he lets go of that and come back down, and he goes right back into the same position, and even faster because you've cued him, you pre-cued him to overactivate the adductors and depressors. I hope you enjoyed this video and helped explain why we don't have our clients go down and back with the shoulder blades and why we don't cue our clients to lift their chest up, especially those clients that have a downward rotated and anterior tilted position of the shoulder blades, which so many of our clients have chronic rotator cuff and labral issues have, as well as those clients have chronic neck issues and tension type headache issues, because it disrupts optimal alignment, but more importantly, control and stability of the shoulder blade and puts more pressure on the rotator cuff as well as the labrum of the glenohumeral joint. And that's why, again, we use the patterns of the band pull apart with a row, as well as a modified wall plank, which we've demonstrated in previous videos to help our clients reestablish optimal and efficient alignment and control so they can ultimately carry that into the functional movement patterns that they need to do for everyday life as well as exercise. And in tomorrow's video, I'll demonstrate how you incorporate these concepts into common pulling exercises. I'll demonstrate the pull-up, and then on Friday, I'll be back with part 4, which is technically part 5 of the series, where I demonstrate how to take these concepts into a common pushing pattern that our clients need to do, planks and or push-ups, and how to optimally align and control the shoulder blades as well as that thoraco-pelvic cylinder. So this is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.